What is up, everybody, and welcome to today's class. You don't need anything for today's class except your mat and yourself. So when you're ready, feel free to meet me on your mat, and we're going to get started today in a child's pose. So you can take the big toes to touch, take the knees out wide, and just send the hands out in front of you. Come down, lay your belly in between your thighs, allow the head to knock down towards the earth. And just find a moment here of allowing yourself to just be where you are. And our kind of first step in doing that is to start to notice where we are. So as you start to build up this bigger picture of your awareness, and you start to tune into your surroundings a little bit more. Starting to listen for any sounds that you hear, both inside and outside the room that you're in. Can you tap into any smells, any sounds, any sensations? And as you start to tap into those sensations, perhaps that draws you in a little bit closer to your immediate physicality, your body, your breath, maybe even your energy, your mind. Starting to draw this awareness in and just taking note of where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, and perhaps spiritually. And then drawing that attention in towards your breath. First by feeling where it is. Getting a sense of that sensation, whether it's the inhale and exhale coming in and out of the nostrils, or maybe you feel it deeper down into the chest and into the belly. Starting to just build up this bigger picture of what's going on for you. What is your breath telling you? And then starting to deepen and elongate that breath. Perhaps feeling the belly expand, the diaphragm drop down, and maybe even feeling the sides of the belly press against the legs as it inflates. And as you exhale, can you feel everything melting down into the mat? Have your sit bones, the backs of your legs, weigh heavy towards the mat behind you. And as you inhale, can you feel maybe the back ribs expand, almost ballooning up, lifting you up and out for a brief moment, just really subtly. And then as you exhale, everything drops back down. Feeling these real subtle micro movements that are instigated from your breath. As you inhale, can you round through the back, round through the upper spine, really tucking the tailbone under as you curl chin to chest. As you exhale, lower the hips, coming into a cobra up dog position. Take an inhale here, exhale, sink the hips back. Make that kind of cow-like shape with the back as you send the sit bones back behind you, arcing through the spine, dropping the belly, lifting through the heart and chest as you sink back to the heels, coming into that child's pose position. Inhale, you ripple up through the spine, rounding through the back. Exhale, drop the hips down, come into that cobra position. Expand through the chest and heart, pull yourself open. Exhale, sends the hips back, child's pose. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, drop the hips down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, send the hips back, child's pose. 3 more times, just like that, with your own breath. Can you really feel that movement being instigated by your breath? Feel it guiding you along your mat. Tapping into those movements of the spine. Perhaps feeling that openness in the back, in the front body, and that strength in the back body. And then when you finish your last round, come down into that cobra position, and then exhale, lower all the way down onto the belly. Take the fingertips out, 10 and 2, a couple rounds of oscillating cobra. Press down through the feet, press down through the tops of the legs. Inhale, you rise, tenting up onto the fingertips to lift the heart and chest. Exhale, you lower. Inhale, come up, rippling through the spine. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, rise. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Left hand is going to come out like a T straight out from your shoulder. Kick the right heel up and in towards the butt, and then reach those right toes over towards the left fingertips. Peeling the chest and heart open towards the ceiling. Maybe gaze comes up and over that right shoulder. Can you really feel like that hip is opening, sending that right knee up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling? Exhale, close everything off. Draw everything back into center. Send the right hand out long like a T, this time tenting up onto the left fingertips. Left heel kicks in towards the butt and reaches over for those right fingertips. Scorpion twist. Gaze can come up over the left shoulder. Inhale, peel yourself open, really sending that left knee up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, close down. Left hand goes out like a T. Once again, inhale, you open up, sending the right toes back behind you. Exhale, close down. Right hand out long, inhale, left toes reach over and behind. Scorpion twist, peel yourself open. And then exhale, close everything down once again. Take the hands next to the rib cage. Inhale, pull yourself up into your upward facing dog. And then exhale, just come back, sit down onto the heels into a Vajrasana pose. Interlace the fingers in front of the chest. Inhale, puff up into the hands. And as you exhale, flip the palms away from you, round through the spine. Inhale, bring the arms up and over the head, biceps in line with the ears here, and then exhale, round everything down. Some seated cat-cows. Inhale, come up, and exhale, curl down. Inhale up, exhale, round. Inhale, open. This time as you exhale, release that clasp of the fingertips, cactus the arms, drawing the elbows really down and in towards your side. Can you allow those elbows to knock forward as the backs of the hands get really heavy, kind of serving your heart up on a platter here, exposing the heart, opening through the chest. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take a moment to close down your eyes here. If you would like to set any intention or dedication for your practice today, feel free to do so here. Also know that simply moving on your mat and being here now and breathing and moving is enough. Take the fingertips back behind you. Next, inhale, press down through the shins to lift the hips. We'll camel prep here. Exhale, lower the hips down. Next, inhale, press down through the shins. Once again, lift the hips up, open through the front body. Exhale, you lower. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower all the way down. Bring the hands out in front of you, tabletop position. Press down through both sets of hands. Press down through both of your hands, especially down through that left hand. Inhale, reach the right hand up towards the sky as you twist open. Exhale, thread the needle through. Right hand threads behind the left, lowering the shoulder down. Gaze comes up and over that left shoulder, opening up towards the left. Can you keep that left shoulder away from your ears? Next, inhale, come all the way back up, reopen, send that right hand up towards the sky, and then exhale, bring it back in line with the left. Shifting the weight over towards the right, inhale, left hand reaches towards the sky. And then exhale, you're threading the needle down, coming over into that gentle shoulder stretch. Content up onto the right fingertips. Peel the chest open towards the ceiling as much as you can. Keep wrapping that right hip back and in line. It'll want to splay out. Can you keep it tucked in? Deep, long breath here. Next, inhale, press down through the right hand to lift that left hand back up towards the sky, open up. Exhale, bring it in line with the right. Plant the hands, tuck the toes underneath you, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to get settled in your downward facing dog, pedaling through the feet, shifting the hips, maybe dropping the heels right and left. Just enjoy a moment of free movement, maybe even a little animalistic in nature. Let it feel good to you and to your body. And then go ahead and stop in the middle. Find that place of center, that place of stillness. And then inhale, reach the right foot up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, lower down the back knee. Inhale, chest and heart pulls through. Exhale, tuck the back toes, straighten both the legs, come into a pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend into that front right foot. And exhale, you're going to step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Take a nice wide forward fold here. Inhale, ripples up through the spine. Come up to stand, reach the hands up and overhead. And then exhale, sink the hips down into an active squat position. Hands can stay at heart center. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, followed by the right. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower down the back knee. Inhale, chest and heart pulls through. Exhale, tuck the back toes, lift the hips, straighten both the legs. I was about to say straighten both the hips, that doesn't make sense. Inhale, rebend into that left leg. And then exhale, step the right to the front of the mat. Take a forward fold here. Inhale, rebend into the legs, ripple up through the spine. Reach the arms up and over the ears, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe mini back bend there. Exhale, draw everything down, sink the hips, active squat. Inhale, hands plant, step the right foot back, followed by the left, and then rinse it through your vinyasa. Inhale, right foot up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, back knee lowers. Inhale, chest and heart pulls through. Exhale, tuck the back toes, pyramid pose. Straighten both the legs. Inhale, rebend into that front leg, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand, forward fold. Inhale, ripple up through the spine, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms reach up and overhead, get long, get tall. Exhale, sink the hips down, active squat. Inhale, hands plant, step the left toes back, followed by the right, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot up and back. Exhale, step it to the front of the mat, outside the left hand, lower down the back knee. Inhale, chest and heart pulls through. Exhale, straighten the legs, pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend into that front foot. Step the right to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, ripples you up to stand. Arms reach up. Then exhale, sink the hips down, active squat. Inhale, hands plant, step the right toes back, followed by the left, and then rinse it through your vinyasa, lowering through chaturanga, inhaling upward facing dog, and then exhaling back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here in your downward facing dog. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. And then go ahead, inhale, right toes up and back behind you. Exhale, knee draws in towards the chest. Take a little bend into the left to ripple yourself forward and step the right foot between the hands. You're going to spiral down the back knee at a 90 degree and inhale, rise up into your warrior 2. Find a moment to get settled here, shimmying the feet around if you need to. And then find a really nice home base position for yourself. And you feel strong into the legs, really pulling that energy up through the feet. Allow the arms to rest nice and heavy, shoulders rolled down the back body, away from the ears. Find a gaze over the right fingertips. Try and find that nice central position so you're not leaning too far forward or too far back. You're perfectly placed in the present moment. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead, drop the elbow, right elbow to right knee or right hand to the floor. Reach the left hand up and over the air. Parsvakonasana, our side angle pose. Again, keeping that energy really pulling up through the feet, sinking the hips down, but this time really barrel rolling that chest up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. One more inhale here. And then on your exhale, you're sinking to the back of the mat, bending in towards the left leg. Skandasana, so left toes kind of point towards that left corner of your mat. And you're sinking the hips down really nice and low here, or as low as you can go. Keep the right toes flexing up towards the ceiling. And if you have the space to find a bind, you're welcome to find that here. Reaching that left hand around, right hand over and back behind you. Maybe interlacing the hands, reaching for that bind. Again, if the bind ever closes you off, release it. Binds are meant to encourage opening and expansion, so if they ever don't do that, come back. Find length through the spine, broadness across the shoulders and the chest. You're going to start digging in with that right heel here. Really feel like you're pulling it towards you and use that sensation of that pulling to pull yourself back up into your warrior two. Find that position once again. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink the hips. Next inhale, left hand's going to come and plant down next to that right foot, and you're shifting over, pointing the toes towards the right side of your mat and moving into a side plank, lifting that right foot in line with the left. Right hand is reaching up towards the sky. You're pressing down through the left hand and through the feet to lift the hips. Next inhale, draw the right knee up and in towards the chest. Exhale, you're stepping that right foot to the top of the mat. See how lightly you can touch the toes down. Once it arrives there, go ahead, lower down that back knee, and inhale, reach the right hand up towards the sky. You can stay here. You can even take the right hand to the right knee and kind of peel the hip open that way. Or you can reach around and maybe bend for that left leg and take a bound lizard lunge. If you drop the forearm naturally in your practice, feel free to do that. Just allow this to be a pose that feels good to you. But allow it to be a pose where you can find a line of tension for you. So don't hang out somewhere in between. See if you can really find either the drawing in of that right heel or the kicking away and opening through the chest. Wherever you decide to be, find it. Drop in. Connect with your breath. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release. Take both hands to the front of the mat and then sink the hips back, straightening through the right leg, half splits. So keep squaring off through the hips by drawing that right hip back and in line. If you have props along your journey, this is a really nice place to use them to kind of close that distance, make that hinge really come from your hip. You can find so many different variables in this pose. You can make it active by really staying long through the spine, really working on that tilt of the pelvis. Or you can take it passive. You can fold down. And then you've also got the playing with the straightening and the bending of that right foot. So if it feels better to kind of have a slight bend into it, you're always welcome to do that. If it feels better to straighten it completely, always welcome to do that. And you can stay upright, you can stay folded. It really is your own, so find a spot that works for you. And then go ahead, inhale, rebend into that right leg, plant the hands, step the right toes back, plank pose, and then go ahead and lower through your vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga, inhaling up and over the toes for Urdhva Mukha, and then exhale, send the hips back, Adho Mukha. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, draw that left knee in towards the chest, little springboard on the right foot to ripple you forward, placing that left heel, that left foot down in between the hands. Spiral down that back right heel, and then inhale, rise up, warrior two. Get settled here for a moment. Find your footing. And then find your hips really bending deeply into that left knee. Can you get grounded in the outer edge of that back right foot? Sink the hips down and low. And then allow the upper body to rest really lightly here. One more inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Next inhale, left elbow comes to the left knee or hand to the floor. Inhale, right hand reaches up and over the air, Parsvakonasana, side angle. Keep really spiraling that chest up towards the sky. Feel like you're kind of scooping. You're using your rib cage as like a scoop here. You're scooping it under and over towards the ceiling. One more inhale. And then exhale, sink towards the back of your mat, bending into that right knee. Right toes pointed towards the right corner of that mat. Find your space here. You can reach for that bind if you like. And you can always be a lot more upright here in this position. So if you are wanting to keep that heel grounded, which you should be, stay more upright. Whether your hands are on blocks, hands at heart center, hands onto the floor. You can stay here, keeping that length through the spine and sinking the hips down. Wherever you are, get really nice and long through the spine, broad across the chest, and then start digging in with that left heel, almost pulling that foot back towards your face. Use that energy to draw yourself back up, warrior two. Find a moment sinking into the warrior two once again. Inhale. Exhale, right hand plants down onto the floor. Turn all the toes towards that left side of the mat. Pick that left foot up. Step it into your Vashisthasana side plank. Pressing down through the hands and through the feet to lift the hips. Everyone inhales to draw that left knee up and in towards the chest, and you're stepping it up towards the top of the mat. See how lightly you can step it down. And then lower down that back knee, plant the right hand, inhale, twist open. Stay in this twist, or maybe using the hand onto the knee to press it open. Or maybe you reach around and grab that back right heel, drawing it in. If the forearm drop is there for you, feel free to make it your own. And then pick your poison, I guess. No, it's not poison, it's good, wholesome sustenance. Either drawing that heel in towards the butt, or kicking the foot away from you and opening through the chest. Try and find that line of tension that suits you and your body. Find it and then drop down into your breath. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, release everything off. Bring the hands underneath you, sink the hips back, half splits. And then we went through all of the other variables on the other side, so find the position that works for you, that feels good to you, and then drop into it. Using your breath to, again, be your guide. When we say use your breath to be your guide, it can kind of sound a little bit confusing at first. You're like, what does that mean? Essentially, it just means if you can't breathe in a pose, then you're not in the right kind of pose for you. So you just adjust the pose to wherever suits you so that you can breathe freely and deeply. And that is how we are guided by the breath. Inhale, rebend into that front leg. Plant the hands, step the foot back, high plank, and then exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale back, downward facing dog. When you get there, inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step in between the hands, spiral down the back foot. Inhale, rise, warrior two. One breath here, inhale. Exhale, sink. One more inhale. This time as you exhale, right hand to the floor or to your knee, left hand reaches up and over the air, spiral open, Parsvakonasana. Inhale. And then exhale, you're sinking to the back of the mat, coming into your Skandasana. Take one inhale here. And exhale. Next inhale, pull yourself forward back into your warrior two. And then the exhale is going to plant that left hand, reach the toes over and back into your side plank, or this time stepping over with those right toes coming into your wild thing. Press down through all points of contact, lift the hips, open through the chest. Be there for one more inhale. And then exhale, close everything off, draw that right knee up and in towards the chest, and you're stepping it down to the top of the mat. Lower down that back knee, inhale, back sweep around to grab onto that foot, and sink down into your twisted lizard. One inhale here, and then exhale, you're releasing it off and sinking the hips back, half split. Inhale, get long. Exhale, fold down. And then inhale, rebend into that front leg. Plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, bend the knee, send it in between the thumbs. Spiral down the back heel. Inhale, rise, warrior two. One inhale here. Exhale, sink. One more inhale. And then exhale, left knee to elbow or left hand to floor, right hand up and over the air. Side angle. Inhale. Exhale, sink it back into your Skandasana, back of the mat. Bending down into that right leg, left toes flex towards the face. Next inhale, draw down into that left heel to pull you up, warrior two. Exhale, right hand plants, coming into that Vashisthasana or stepping it behind and over into your wild thing. Press down through your points of contact, lift the hips up, find space, find strength, and then exhale, draw everything back in line, draw that left knee in towards the chest, and you're stepping it down lightly to the top of the mat. Lowering down the back knee, inhale, back stroking over, grabbing onto that back foot and sinking the hips low. Inhale, exhale, release, and sink back, half splits. Inhale, get long here, reach the collarbones to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rebend into that front foot, plant the hands, step it into plank pose, and then rinse through your Vinyasa. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, exhaling back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Spiral down the back heel. Inhale, rise, warrior two. This time as you exhale, take an interlace of the hands behind the back. Inhale, puff open the chest. And then exhale, you're folding to the inside of that right leg, humble warrior. Reach the fingertips up and over the back of the head. Really reaching the hands for the mat. Inhale, come back up. Release the hands, sink the hips back, Skandasana. Inhale here. And then exhale, keep the hips nice and low as you're doing a little ninja crawl, using the hands if you need to come to the front of the mat. Plant the left hand, and then inhale, all toes turn to face the right side of the mat for high horizon lunge. Keep the hips nice and high here as you inhale. And then exhale, sink the hips, reach that right hand towards the back of the mat. Inhale, come back up, high horizon. Exhale, right hand's gonna thread through, and you're gonna turn yourself to the left side, long side of your mat, coming into a wide forward fold. Pigeon toe the feet slightly so your toes are turned in, heels are turned out. Inhale, come up halfway, and then exhale, fold. Any variation of the arms here in your wide-legged forward fold. Keep sending the sit bones back, really spreading them apart, and then reaching the crown of the head towards the mat. Next inhale, you're going to walk yourself back around to the front of the mat, come into a pyramid pose. You can ground the back heel, you can stay up onto the ball of the foot with the back heel. Wherever you are, just try and keep the hips nice and square. Plant the hands, inhale, reach the right foot up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, stay here, or flip into wild thing, sending those right toes back behind you, opening through the chest. And if you have the space for it here, you can continue that motion around, maybe coming into a full Urdhva Dhanurasana, a full wheel pose. Take one inhale. And then exhale, close everything back off. Coming into a downward facing dog. Really nice work. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw it in and up to step in between the hands, spiral down the back heel. Inhale, rise, warrior two. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, puff up through the chest. And then exhale, fold down inside of that left leg, humble warrior. Keep wrapping that left hip back and in line. Keep the hips sending nice and low. Reaching the fingertips up and over the head. Next inhale, you raise back up. Release that interlace of the hands and sink the hips back of the mat, Skandasana. One inhale here, then exhale using your hands or just doing a little slide forward. Plant the right hand, inhale, left hand reaches towards the sky as you pivot all the toes to face the left side of the mat, high horizon. Press down through the feet, through the hand to lift the hips, and then exhale, lower the hips down, left hand reaches towards the back of the mat. Inhale, reach it up, high horizon lunge. And then exhale, left hand threads in front of the leg, behind the arm to move you into a wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to turn this way so I'm not just flashing my butt at you all. Take an inhale, come up halfway, get long through the spine. And then exhale, fold down. One more inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Next inhale, you're going to turn towards that front left foot, come into your pyramid pose, either grounding that back heel or staying up on the ball of the foot. One more inhale. And exhale, plant the hands, sweep that left foot up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, and flip it into your wild thing or your full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Find space, find freedom, find expansion. Connect back to your breath. And on your next exhale, reverse that motion. And you're coming back out and coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up and back behind you. Exhale, step it in between the hands, spiral down the back heel. Inhale, rise, warrior two. Interlace the hands back behind you. Inhale, puff the chest and heart up. Exhale, fold down, humble warrior. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, sink back of the mat, Skandasana. Inhale here. Exhale, ninja crawl your way to the top of the mat, plant the left hand. Inhale, high horizon lunge, all toes turn to face the right side edge of your mat. Exhale, sink the hips down, send the right hand towards the back of the mat, really reaching there. And then inhale, lift the hips back up. Exhale, thread the right hand through, turning towards that left side edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, turn back towards the front of the mat. Exhale, pyramid pose, fold over that front right leg. Inhale, plant the hands, sweep the right toes up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, and flip it into your wild thing or your full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Your practice, your choice, take it where you need to go. Take it where you find the most amount of awareness, of freedom, of connection, where you can feel strong and capable and also at ease. Find that place where you can breathe. Next exhale closes you off into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it in between the hands. Spiral down the back heel, inhale, rise, warrior two. Interlace the hands back behind you, inhale, puff up the chest. And then exhale, fold down inside of that left leg, humble warrior. Inhale, you rise back up. Exhale, sink back, Skandasana. Inhale, ninja crawl to the front of the mat, plant the right hand. Inhale, high horizon lunge, all toes turn to face the left side edge of your mat. Exhale, sink the hips, reach that left hand towards the back. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, thread it through, all toes turn to face the right side edge of your mat. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold down. Last time, inhale, come up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, turn towards that front left leg, pyramid pose. Plant the hands, sweep that left foot up and back behind you, bend the knee, open the hip, final wild thing, flip dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Wherever you need to go, find it. Be there, connect to it. Take an inhale. And then exhale, close everything off. Come into your downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the earth. Untuck the toes, sink back, child's pose. Feel all that energy shifting and moving around. That breath, perhaps a little bit faster in pace. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat kind of rebounding off the mat and back into your chest. And you are always welcome to stay here, or we can move into a forearm balance or a dolphin. So place your hands where you need to go. Lift the hips up and back. Dolphin pose, forearm balance. You can stay in your child's pose. That is always a welcomed option, especially since we have been moving a lot. Take it where you need to go. Find steadiness in your gaze, in your breath, in your entire being. Know that you are capable. You are connected. And then go ahead and release down. Sit back onto the heels. Come into a Vajrasana pose. Exhale, clear everything out. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long inhale. Full exhale. Long inhale. Full exhale. Go ahead, come into a laying position on our bellies, all the way down. Come into a Sphinx position to start off with. You're going to go ahead and draw your left knee up, kind of 90 degrees out from your hip. You can kind of tuck the right toes under, just kind of stretch the hip bones apart there. I always like that, just to give me a bit more space. You can stay here, knocking the elbows out and just laying down onto the hands, or you can take it into a little twist, taking the right hand behind the left and walking that out, bending that left elbow and just resting your head down onto your arm or your hand there, making it into a nice shoulder stretch as well. Just find a moment to release, drop down, reconnecting with your breath. Knowing that you have already given so much of your efforts, that it is simply enough just to let go here, to find some ease. And also knowing that you don't really ever have to earn ease. You are already enough as you are. And balancing effort and ease is just something that we do to find contentment within ourselves. Finding the places that we need to give our efforts, whether they are in our relationships, our work, our passions, our hobbies, our families, and also knowing where we need to show ourselves ease. Where can we find lightness and playfulness in those same things? And go ahead and release any shoulder stretch that you had. Go ahead and send that left leg nice and long. And just find a moment of neutral here, maybe shaking the hips side to side before moving on to the other side, drawing that right knee up into that 90-degree position. And if you want to take that shoulder stretch, it's the left hand threading under the right this time. Maybe you rest your forehead onto the right arm or hand. can take 3 more long deep breaths here. What can you do with those 3 breaths? And then go ahead and start to unwind. You come down onto the hands and shake the hips left to right. And then really gently just using the hands to press yourself back up into a seat. Just so you can shift the hips over to the side, send the legs out nice and long, scoot yourself forward, and then go ahead and roll down onto your back. Be hugging the knees up and in towards the chest, giving them a nice squeeze. And then taking any variation of a twist that you would like. I'm kind of feeling a little eagle wrap or gomakasana leg situation for myself. So I'm going to take the right knee on top of the left and then allow the legs to drop over towards the left. Shimmy the hips around, adjust your shoulders, maybe peeling one shoulder out underneath so you can really flatten through both the shoulder blades. And then just drop down. Again, if any other twist is speaking to you right now, feel free to move into that. You are the person who knows yourself best. So trust that your body knows what it needs in this moment. You just need to listen to it. Next inhale, allow the knees to draw back to center. And then go ahead and switch the cross if you had them crossed. I'm now crossing my left leg on top of my right. And drop your legs over towards, drop the knees over towards the right side. Taking any shimmies and adjustments of the hips and the shoulders so you can feel the most amount of space here. And that next inhale, allow your knees to come back to center. Unwind, hug the knees into the chest. Any final symmetrical pose that you would like. I'm kind of vibing a happy baby at the moment, so I'm going to take the outer edges of my feet into my hands, kind of take my elbows to the inside of my calves and really kind of drive my knees out to the sides of my mat, keeping my sacrum nice and grounded. If you know that you like a plow pose or a waterfall pose, feel free to take it. You also feel really nice to move into a plow pose as kind of a counter to all of the back bends and opening through the chest and the shoulders. Actually, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of want to move there. So I'm going to take the toes up and over the head and take my hands onto my sacrum to help guide that process. Once the toes land, then you can remove the hands from the hips and interlace them behind the back like we did in that humble warrior, or just taking the hands to the side. And then allowing your next exhale to drop you down and in to your Shavasana. Take the legs out nice and long, arms out nice and wide. Take up space. And allow all your efforts, all your work to be released here. And just enjoy a couple of moments fully resting, fully at ease. And just trusting, even in moments of unease, that we can always find a sense of ease within ourselves. Even with all of the discomforts of the current state of the world and things, we can still find an ease that lives within each and every single one of us. And the more each and every single one of us can tap into that contentment, that joy, that ease, the more we as a collective will be able to drop into that state as well. Know that every time you show up here on your mat and allow yourself these moments of relief and connection and awareness, it's working to serve a greater whole. It's working as a fiber in the fabric of life. All of our individual fibers becoming stronger and more connected, we as a collective become stronger and more connected. So just allow yourself to rest here for as long as you like, as long as it serves you. Thank you so much for moving and practicing with me today, wherever you are, whatever you are doing next. I hope it's amazing. Thanks and peace.